call this meeting of the Bluefield Virginia County Council, July 28th to order. We'll start out with our invocation and pledge given by Mr. Chad Lambert.
Right. Thank you, sir. Let's pray. Father, again, thank you for another day. Thank you for each one that's in attendance. We ask for guidance on our agenda tonight, and everything that we do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a typical town manager late. Boy, I got it.
I'll be honest with you, I'm tired on both sides of the border. That's all right. It's not you, it's me.
Welcome everybody. We're glad to see everybody. We kind of got a short agenda tonight, which is good, because if we got anything you want to talk about, we'll talk about it. So the first thing we have is the approval of the agenda. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? We have a motion.
I second.
And we have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign for no, the ayes have it. Next thing is the approval of the consent agenda, which is the meeting minutes from July the 14th. Are there any additions or subtractions? Not hearing any, could I have a motion to accept as presented?
Motion to accept as presented.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign for no, the ayes have it. That's great. Next thing on our agenda is a special presentation, the Boys and Clubs. The Boys and Girls Clubs, I'm sorry. Never could read, could have, Joyce. So whoever's going to present that, please come forward and tell us all about it.
Okay. I'd like to talk to you about gloves. This meeting's running a lot better without Hanson. No, that's okay. Well, can you see it, man? Can you see it okay? I'm gonna let Catherine talk a little bit. Catherine, why don't you introduce the team real quick and let everybody see who's here with us?
So I'm Catherine Candace. I'm with the City of Bluefield, Grants Project Manager. I brought with me Austin, Esports Director, Concord University, and Alan with Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
Yeah, so
Thank you all for coming.
just a little background. Alan's been with us for about a year from the National Boys and Girls Club. We've been working on this for about 2 years. It's a big deal to try to help the kids in the entire area, not just Bluefield West, but really Princeton, our area, Montcalm, just really any kid we can get there to show up. Austin, I'll tell you this just for background. Concord has a world-class esports. They got recruits from Lithuania, West Virginia. They've been nationally recognized. Esports are, I'm sure everybody here's got grandkids or kids, they play some sort of a video game. All these kids know it. I know nothing. I play Atari, but but he's really impressive, and they've got a really great program there. And so, Boys and Girls Club have had a lot of success in all their newer openings with bringing in esports. And outside of band and actual athletics, this esports is probably the third pillar of what kids like to do. And they've had a lot of success. So that was kind of the genesis when we were looking at standing this up and getting it going. But I'll put you through a very quick presentation, and Catherine, just interrupt me. Catherine's really done a lot of the legwork. Just so you know, we're putting it down by the Raleigh Street Cinemas in Bluefield underneath the Granada there. We're in the middle, guys are putting furniture together today for the esports room, completely revamped the bottom of that. They'll still show movies in those theaters, so it won't be in there during those periods of time, but other than that, we've got classrooms in the back, places to serve food, focus on mostly STEM for the initial run to get this thing started, math and English, and then helping the kids, of course, with some of their homework, and really just give them a good base on academics, and esports to kind of start for the fun, and then we'll expand the program and eventually bring all the Boys and Girls Clubs activities into it. Okay. Yeah, here's our mission. Why it's important we came to see you all. We do want kids from the Virginia side to be in there. And this is not just for kids that are economically challenged. And I had an opportunity to talk to some folks yesterday. This is for all kids, right? We want all kids to be a part of it. It's community. It's getting together. It's all letting them play esports. It's helping with their academics. hey, my son had to have help with his SATs and ACTs, right, when I was down when he was in school, Bluefield High, everybody. So it's not just for, the kids that have our biggest challenges. Of course, we want them to help them, but this is for the entire community. Just a quick schedule. You want to talk about the schedule a little bit, Catherine, and everything we have going on?
We're gonna serve kids, Mondays through Thursdays from about 3:30 to 9 in the evening. We'll do a snack and a meal. Again, help with homework assistance, esports, STEM, some leadership and character building, and then some other community enrichment activities. But Monday through Thursday, 3 to 9. Friday, it'll be a shorter time period because the movies start up in the evening, so like 3 to 5:30.
Okay. Kind of the structure and how we're going to run with the board of directors and all
So
that.
we filed to be a nonprofit 501c3. We do have a volunteer board of directors. We're right now in the process of hiring a full-time CEO. And then we'll of course have additional club staff and then recruit volunteers. And this has actually been a conversation going on about 5 years. We've had lots of conversations. Alan's been wrapped into this, exceptionally helpful to make this a reality for us. This was our tentative schedule originally. We had to revise this because of movies on the weekend, but 5 days a week, afternoon after school. And then once we get through fall and spring, we'll talk about a summer schedule for next year. Board of Directors and Community Advisory Board. Right now, our board is meeting almost weekly. We are planning to open the doors the first day back to school for Mercer County, which is August 21st, so we're 3 weeks out. Meeting pretty intensively just to make sure furniture's in place, outreach is happening, and we're getting kids enrolled. I've got about a dozen kids enrolled right now. So again, timeline, getting the organizational structure in place. We've got the location, furniture going in, printed materials going out. I've spoken to and dropped off materials at Grand Middle School. I think she was going to include those in the 6th grade packets going out, but launching in 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks. Through a very generous donation from the city of Bluefield, from opioid funding, they've given us $250,000 to fund the first year, and so we're building from there.
Yep.
Sustainability, and Alan can probably talk to this a little bit more than I can, but through our affiliation with Boys and Girls Club nationally, that opens a lot of doors to corporations, other grant funding, other opportunities. Prior to Christmas, BGCA sent us, no charge, to kind of kickstart our esports program, 4 65-inch televisions, 2 PlayStations, 2 Nintendo Switches, and that really got us excited to do that. So through the various relationships they have at a national level will benefit us. Anything else Alan, I should mention?
Should I come up there?
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know you had your fancy shoes. That's why you got here first.
I didn't wear a jacket.
He's got family in Hinton, so you can't trust him. He's a good guy.
Thank you for letting us speak, but what Catherine said is right. By being part of Boys and Girls Clubs of America, we will have the opportunity to pass through dollars from our from the federal government that they give to us. We are the federal government's largest recipient of funding under the OJJDP program, which is money that comes from the Juvenile Justice Program. This organization has already been approved, even before they've received their 501c3 status, that we are going to award them money for the 26-27 year around OJJDP. So they'll have an additional, I believe it's around $27,000 of federal funding that will help with the mentoring program that they're going to run. But we will use our corporate partners to help support the organization. There is quite an excitement at our national organization about this organization. We're very, very excited because there is a desert of vacancy, not only in West Virginia, but in Virginia in this area.
Oh, esports. I can pass this over to Austin. It was the brains of that operation.
James, you turn that off, just so you see this picture. So this is about what it's gonna look like when we're done, pretty close. Just to give you an idea. I'm not sure if you can all, yeah, you all can see that. This is gonna be pretty tricked out, but I'll be quiet and let the pros over and talk it through. But this is gonna be something I think the kids are gonna be really interested in. Now, hopefully we get it rolling in the evenings when we're not Boys and Girls Club, or other times we want to open it up for the high schools and college kids and slowly work our way there. But kind of make this a nice place outside even the Boys and Girls Club where this could be used. But Austin, please, man.
So if I talk fast, I'm sorry, I'm from New York, so just preface that I've only been down here for 5 years. But my big thing is with this, with esports here, this is what's called a PC cafe. That's what it is. It's basically in Japanese culture or Korean culture. What you do is you create a PC lab and people can come in and use it and have food and access, and you teach them other things outside of just gaming. That is very much a Asian culture thing that has been being brought over here through different various means. We even do it at Concord, but with this here, you have access to 12 PCs in the middle area. You have a main stage up on the back end where you can compete in person in live audience matches. So people can actually come and you can have two teams. You could have Graham Middle play against Bluefield Middle in a match there with a live audience watching it, and then I have announcers and my program that would come down and volunteer to cast the game and announce and do all the camera work and production work that you would need for that. Because we also, big thing that I want to be part of esports is telling people that it's not just gaming. The majority of people who work in esports are like me. It's a $2 billion industry, esports is. Gaming is a $200 billion industry. With esports, you're not playing the game most likely. Most of the time, you are more likely to go pro, for example. You're more likely to go pro in the NBA than to go pro in any esports title. And it's already insanely hard to go pro in the NBA. You're more likely to go pro in the NBA and win the lottery ticket and go to the moon than you are to become an esports pro player. That is like how limited spots there are for pro players, kind of thing. So the big thing with this proposed esports center is using esports as a way to help them drive their passion to get a career. That may be graphic design, that might be editing, that might be doing social media, it might be a content creator, that might be Twitch streaming, while also educating them how to do your finances, how to do your STEM stuff that they brought up earlier. That's what I see this as a tool for, not they're gonna sit there and play video games all day. Right now we're doing our summer camps that we do over the summer. We have 3 weeks of summer camps. During our summer camp, there's 3 hours, it's 6 hours. Each day we spend an hour, so 4 hours total, where we talk about things outside of gaming. They don't touch the game for an hour. The first thing they show up for when they get there at 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock is we talk about everything else about gaming, about how to get a job in the industry, what you need for grades, what are the steps to make sure you have financial understanding, and those things for an hour. And these kids are middle schoolers and high schoolers that we talk for an hour, and they're locked in, listening to what we're telling them, and then afterward they get to play games, and then we break up again and then we talk about it again. So it's been very useful to use esports as a tool to get kids motivated about education and about their future. And that's what I see it as a benefit. And like Cecil was saying, Concord Esports will gladly come down, host showcase matches down there. We have plans, I already talked with them, that we would bring maybe WVU and a couple other schools down to compete there. We haven't lost to WVU at all with our Rocket League team. They're all 3 international pros. 2 of them actually made, we just had the FIFA World Cup. Esports has a World Cup too. And 2 of my international players made the Esports World Cup. So they're in Paris for the next couple of weeks competing in the Esports World Cup. We would have them come down, play against WVU, which they had their own pro players, and we'd do a showcase match to show what top tier talent is and why it benefits the region. We also hold passion series, so we hold in-person tournaments at Concord University. We had schools from Akron University, Ohio State. We had people from UCI, from University of Irvine out in California, flying out to compete in our tournaments that we were holding for a $3,000, $5,000 prize pool. We had people from around the country. We had a Canadian school drive down to compete in our land event. that once again brings more attention and more economic development into this area, that we can also help funnel into this Boys and Girls Club by giving them that experience from people who travel the whole world kind of thing and give them that experience. So that's, I know I talked about a lot of things there, I'm sorry, but I really see this as a more than just an esports center and doing the stuff that the Boys and Girls Club does as well, kind of thing. And I see it as a whole picture.
I think what you've taught me that I did not know about this was the soft skills that youth are learning that they can apply in the workforce, like anger management, communication, working in a team.
Yeah, we
I
do that.
never thought of it that way, but that's brilliant.
It's the same thing as athletics. Anything you learn, any of the soft skills that we praise for traditional sports to be teaching athletes, the same thing with esports. We just got moved under athletics at Concord. So now esports is recognized by Concord University as an athletic program. You get the same skills, you get the same learning skills. Your heart rate is as fast as someone playing football. Like the intensity when you're playing a match, you're elevated, you have that same intensity. I had a heart attack while playing esports in college. We won grand finals against a team that we shouldn't have won against, and I actually had a heart attack and had to get moved to the hospital. And this is not even like joking, this actually like legit happened to me kind of thing. Esports is that serious, and that how much your heart increases when you play in these matches, because you're making split-second decisions. Every second you're making a decision.
Marion cannot play. Oh, that's good.
I would crash the plane.
Otherwise, that's it.
So it's just a quick rundown. I know you got a important board meeting tonight. Really, I think most of y'all are familiar with the Wade School, the Wade Center and all that. That was kind of what I walked into when I came to Bluefield. It was a great program, but it was predominantly elementary. We got middle school kids that, hey, they needed some help, right? And even, like I said, my son went to the high school, Bluefield High. He's graduated 2 years ago, but I had a fairly good introduction to school systems and so understood what was probably a unique perspective on what was needed. And that's really what got us started thinking about this, because the Wade Center was great, but after 6th grade, they were kind of moved out, and there wasn't really any kind of a catcher's mitt in our area for those kids. And you could see with the Wade School, their grades were going up. Betty and Karen and their board were doing a great job, and man, they were really, really nice thing going there. But it stopped after 6th grade because they just didn't have the capacity. I think Alan's told you with bringing in something with the national recognition as the Boys and Girls Club, and we've already gotten quite a bit of funding for all the games and some of the equipment and all the things we're doing. I actually helped with some of potentially some of the CEO pay, someone we're going to hire, because it's not going to be not cheap to hire somebody, but you get what you pay for. We're trying to get somebody very high quality so this thing can last and not be a flash in the pan and go. And so we want you to know, and want the community over here to know that it is for your kids too. This is not just for kids in Bluefield. It's for Princeton, it's for you guys, it's for Montcalm. Any kid that wants to be involved in this and have some community, this is what it's for. Because really, we got sports, we got band, and maybe a theater class or two there, but there's just not a ton, and this could fill a nice niche. But those athletes and those band members also play esports when they're not on the practice field. So it's kind of a catch-all to get kids to go in there. But we do plan to feed them. We're working through the busing and getting them there, and that'll be solved. And we want participation, and we want the kids to be a part of it. And I just appreciate all of you for giving Catherine and my all-star Austin that had the heart attack, and Alan from the National Boys and Girls Club a chance to talk to you all. And just know that this is here for you all too, and we're excited to get it rolling.
So yesterday I met with them on a different level, and you were saying that you needed 100 students to be involved in this. My one question when I got home, so does the city of Bluefield or give back to like Boys and Girls Club a certain amount of money
Well, we gave $250,000
to
to
get them
start.
started?
Right.
Yes, there is, the national organization, there is a small membership fee that the club will pay annually. And with that, it makes them eligible to become an official Boys and Girls Club. But what clubs across the country have determined is they get back about a 10-to-1 payment on what they paid for our fees versus what they get back through pass-through. So yeah, but the 100 kids has nothing to do with that.
Right,
dollar,
right.
Does anybody else have any questions?
You didn't answer if you wanted a question.
Hey, you know, anything y'all wanna ask me, I'm happy to answer.
I have one thing to ask
Yes, sir.
about this esports.
Mhm.
I was told by a Bluefield, West Virginia fella that just won every tournament in the world playing those games, that air traffic controllers, if you apply for a job as an air traffic controller, you're a big time gamer, it's almost instant.
Yes.
Almost instant.
Because of the
Because
reaction
they
time.
make such split-second decisions, and they make the best air traffic controllers. Now, I'll say my piece, and everybody else, there. Cecil, I think this is a great two Bluefield project. This is something to put our teeth in. You know, we do other nice little things and all, but this is really a big deal. And it's only gonna get bigger, so you didn't ask for money, that's unusual for a town manager.
Andy was out today, told me don't ask for no money when I'm not there. I'm kidding.
You all gave $250,000 to get it started. So I presume, I'm asking, every year, is this gonna be something you're gonna budget to make a donation of X, Y, Z, or you don't know?
Not, hopefully not 250. The
No,
goal,
no, I mean, just-
the goal is right, there's so many grants and so many ways to get funded. We're gonna ask for private donations too. Hopefully it gets to a structure where it kind of self-perpetuates itself. Now, will we always give something? Yeah, of course, what we can to try to keep it going along. I didn't ask you for money because we don't need to ask you now. Now, in a year from now, we get it up, we got 100 and some odd kids, things are rolling, and we'll start a new program. Of course I'm gonna come to you. Maybe we need a new bus. Yeah, let's go in together and get a new bus so I can
Well, that's
pick
what
up
I'm
kids.
thinking, maybe you could, since our two colonels work so good together, we're very fortunate to have two colonels. You know, and I think we could, as you have said before, there's nothing we can't do if we set our mind to it. Now, your budget is tight as it can be, I'm sure, and ours is real tight. But if we work together to come up with something, I'd like to see us, and I'll speak with my colonel about it, look at it budgetarily. That way, I'd like to see some of our kids. I think this is a great thing, I really do. Does anybody have anything they'd like to ask Cecil or?
Well, I'm in full agreement with you, Mayor, and absolutely, and honestly, other than about a 2-hour period on the end of August for a football game, other than that, man, we're all good. I mean, truthfully, I mean, that's really the truth of it, you know. Maybe a basketball game here and there, but really, that's second class stuff, football, you know.
When Cecil came here, he's probably like our colonel. There is nobody that'll come to this area and can believe what that ball game is he's talking about. 10,000 people. How many kids do you know that get to perform band-wise, cheerleader, football in front of a crowd like that? Very, very, very few. And they hate us, and we hate them for about 2 hours.
That's right.
And after the game's over, they're hugging each other and going to have pizza or something together. There's someone won, someone didn't score enough to win. But it's amazing, and they're good kids. They're really good kids. Any of the problems we have at that game are idiots like my age group people. They think they know everything. But the kids, it's great. I think this Boys and Club, I think this club's gonna be great. Please keep us informed, and talk with our colonel, and let him give us the information so we can, there's a lot of kids, I think.
Catherine has some.
I have printed materials and applications.
Thank you.
If you need more, just call City Hall.
Yeah, I just think it's a great thing for our kids.
Thank you, Mayor.
I think you're gonna go up with 100.
Wait a minute.
I'm excited.
Another thing with this is, you see on the aircraft controllers, military, we're sponsored by the Army National Guard of West Virginia. They're looking for kids right out of college or even out of high school to fly all their drones. All their drones are actually Xbox controllers. So Xbox replacement controllers, most of our military technology nowadays is revolving around the same controller or the same type of controller. It might be proprietary or special, but it's same design as our esports controllers that we're using. So to give these kids, and like you said, they can make these split-second decisions. Someone with a drone have to be able to make those split-second decisions as well. So our military is heavily looking at esports students as well.
And all the academies had esports teams, I was shocked when I got there. I go West Point, and significant investment was going in to their esports teams.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's, does anybody else, I mean, don't let me do all the talking.
I got stuck in Atari. Atari.
Combat, baby. Came with it.
Give us some feedback on
That's
this.
right, that's right. Yes, that's
Well, I
someplace to
wasn't
get.
any good even on Nintendo, so.
Yeah, that's right, that's
You
right.
tell all that goes back.
Well done.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention, and, I'm sorry our colonel was, on vacation. We let him have a year, a week here. We let him work 1 week a year or something.
That's right.
But he's, we're really blessed to have 2 colonels in our town that work together. You know, I mean, they're best buds, and, Cecil's got that $31 million he tried to spend, and we're trying to
It's
figure out
hard,
how to
man.
get some of it.
He always just hurt me, but we're getting it. We're gonna get it. We'll get it figured out, so.
Thank you all for coming.
Yes, sir.
Cecil,
Thank you all
please-
very much.
Please keep us informed, and
Yes, sir.
let's get the colonel on board.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next, Vicki has 3 thank you notes for services that the town has provided to people.
Mr. Hanson, one of these read, so. The first one is from the Friends of Southwest Virginia, a meeting that Andy had attended a couple of weeks ago. It says, Andy, thank you for taking the time to attend the recent Destination Southwest Virginia locality meeting. I know how busy your schedule is, and I truly appreciate you making the time to join us. I also want to thank you for everything you do for Tassel and for Southwest Virginia. Your dedication to your community and your willingness to work together on regional initiatives do not go unnoticed. It is always a pleasure to partner with people who care so deeply about making our region stronger. I sincerely appreciate your partnership and look forward to continuing to work together as we build on the great momentum happening across Southwest Virginia. Sincerely, Kim Davis, Executive Director of Friends of Southwest Virginia. The next one is from Bob and Linda Ho from the Friends of Craft Library. Mr. Hanson, thanks so much for your approval to use the town's phone machine for the Craft Library Festival. Sorry it was out of service. Kudos to your guys for trying to get it repaired. They were extremely nice and apologetic for it not working, calling us multiple times to keep us updated. You and your team are a true asset to the town of Bluefield, Virginia, and the community. Sincere thanks, Bob and Linda Hale. And the last one is from the Patchwork Quilters. Patchwork Quilters would like to express our appreciation for all the help the town of Bluefield, Virginia provides us. The storage of our items and delivery and returning of those items is a blessing. So thank you and very much for your continued support.
Thank you for reading those, Vicki. We don't have any special requests for donations. The next is the financial report of Mr. Hampton. Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This is the revenue expense report
period ending July 23rd, 2026. For the general fund, total revenues, $396,802.72. Total expenses, $744,733.96, for a decrease of $347,931.24. Water fund, total revenues, $102,737.32. Total expenses, $57,646.61, for an increase of $45,090.71. Cemetery fund, total revenues, $3,468.54. Total expenses, $1,882.50, for an increase of $1,586.04. Transit fund, total revenues, $121,747.48. Total expenses, $36,990.27, for an increase of $84,757.21. Fincastle, total revenues, $171,343.14. Total expenses, $208,516.52, for a decrease of $37,173.38.
Y'all heard the financial report. Could I have a motion to accept it as presented?
I make a motion to accept those presented.
We have a second.
I second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Like sign for no, the ayes have it. I just have one question, and I'm just asking, because I'm just asking. Fincastle's pro shop was $42,700. They must have got merchandise or something in,
Yeah.
which made it look like the deficit. So, you know, they only order it every so often, so that's why. Cause my goodness, you go up there on Friday, Saturday night, whoo, and you get into the place. Thank you, James.
Yes, sir.
New budget, new business, we have budget amendments. Are you gonna do those?
Yeah,
I didn't know if James was gonna do them or you. Either one.
Tonight we have three budget amendments. The first one is reimbursement for painting of the Fincastle, $12,500. It will, increase the gift and donations revenue line, and the expenditure line for contingency will be increased by $12,500. The second one was reimbursement for saturation patrol and safety checkpoint for $1,777.84. We will increase the law enforcement, the miscellaneous law enforcement revenue line. We'll also increase the investigative overtime line, expenditure line. The third one is for, fines from school safety initiative for $3,650. We will increase the miscellaneous law enforcement revenue line and increase the homeland security expenditure line for $365.50.
Have the budget amendments before us, could I have a motion to accept them?
I make a motion to accept the budget amendments.
We have a motion, could we have a second? We have a motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Like sign no, the ayes have it. Thank you all. Next on our agenda is, citizens' comments. Would the chairs like to talk? Don't have any. Police chief report.
Not much, Mayor. I just wanted to thank the officers that participated in the First Responders Cookout. Channing Mooney usually heads it up, and he does a good job every year, and everybody pitches in. And then the donors, of course, we didn't have the people that donated money for us to get the food and backpacks and things like that. We couldn't hold it, so I want to thank them, and then everyone else, the other first responders that came and participated. But we changed locations this year. I think we had a little bit smaller crowd, but I liked having it down there, and I think everyone else did too.
I didn't think we had as smaller crowds as we've had before up there. Up there, we had a lot of people doing things that really weren't pertaining to that.
I think the weather may have affected it just a little bit.
And I thought they did a fabulous job. I mean, it was, and here, obviously around here, it's got to come a rain, thunderstorm, or this, that, and the other. But anyway, they did a great job. People, a lot of new faces in town, which was great. And they had a lot of, Gavin Scott was there with the new Virginia State Police Patrol car, which is a Ford Mustang of some kind that's all souped up, and I mean, it's the real deal. But I asked him, of course, Gavin's little anyway. I said, if you catch somebody, what are you gonna do? He said, I call and get help. He said, because there's no way they can fit in the car. I mean, it's full, it's complete, but it's a really good looking car. West Virginia State Police was there also. I think the Bluefield West Fire Department, maybe, there was a red truck there, I think it was them, I don't know. Well, of course, our fire department, they had the phone machine, gosh, the kids absolutely loved that. But it was really good to tell Shane and his people how much we appreciate it. They did a great job. I guess I could call him and ask him if the manager's got anything to say. He's on much needed vacation. Council comments. Let's start
What
with.
about the attorney?
Well, we got rid of him.
What am I doing here?
Oh, that's right, he is here, isn't he? The Esteban Attorney's report is next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Three things. All of the county's attorneys, I'm talking about Town of Richlands, Town of Tazewell, the county attorney, the past couple of weeks have been sort of a scramble for PFAS litigation. And PFAS is an acronym that stands for per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Non-stick pans, clothing and gear, food packaging, and fire retardant foam. These are the forever chemicals. And the feds have regulations that they're not enforcing yet, but towns, all water systems are going to be affected. So there was this enormous class action lawsuit. A settlement has occurred. There's $15 billion in a fund that affected jurisdictions can sort of reach out and get a share of. We are already part of the litigation. Don't know that there's any settlement coming, but it's prudent to be part of the litigation because it could well be almost certain that everybody's going to have to remediate PFAS contamination. So at any rate, let's just say there was a lot of scrambling in conversations with Mr. Manager. We're covered, we're already part of the litigation. Don't know if it's going to result in any award, but you need to be in the litigation in the event that it turns out there is PFAS contamination in Bluefield water. The PSA, I was unaware of this. The town of Tazewell actually doesn't own, they own their pipes, they don't own the means of producing their water, it's PSA. And there is some PFAS contamination in the county. Don't know about the town of Bluefield. But let's just say that because the deadline to throw your hat in the ring is the end of July. And so there was some scrambling by some of the other towns to try to make sure that they were protected, because I'm not quite sure how you remediate this stuff, but I think people, if you watch the news, you probably heard of forever chemicals. They just don't go away, and they accumulate in humans. So there was that. And then Vicki reached out to me today. We had another FOIA request from a gentleman who I think Ms. Stacy dealt with last year. And it's a repeat request for public documents regarding vendors that the town deals with. When Ms. Stacy was in the seat, the best I can figure, this is a private company who is assembling data to sell to entities that might want to market their services and goods to towns, but they're entitled to these documents, and I think you've got your arms around it. And then the third thing was for the Planning Commission, I was asked to look into, can the Planning Commission, or can we retroactively apply zoning standards? And the answer seems to be a loud no. But that's what I'm gonna do.
Thank you, I appreciate you getting us on board.
Well, actually, I think that congratulations goes to Andy. I think he was ahead of the curve on that, on the PFAS.
One, I might be speaking a little out of turn, I don't think I am, but there's quite a few members of council that would still like to see us tighten rules, make these vape shops.
Well,
we're working on it.
And I think Ms. Payne can speak to this, being a member of Planning Commission. Andy and Nathaniel, I think, have a pretty comprehensive approach, but that's forward-looking. The question I was posed with, can we go back and enforce those on people who previously were in compliance? And I don't think we can.
Well, one good thing about that is if they mess up and they get their license full, then they gotta go back and go through the proceedings again under the new rules to get approved.
Right.
Which, that's great.
And I don't know if you've seen it, but Ms. Payne, I guess you saw what Andy and Nathaniel have come up with that proposed scheme of regulation.
But I don't remember off the top of
Well,
my head.
suffice it to say, it's pretty comprehensive about what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Because I think, I'm talking too much. I don't know a person who doesn't think that those things are kind of gaudy, the way their storefronts look.
Yeah, so they're talking about making not just vape shops, but all store frontage to get rid of the signage that's covering up windows and whatever, right?
Yes, that was my understanding.
I think that would be a good idea, because let's just say that police officers driving through town, and someone's being robbed, they got all that garb in the window, they don't know it. You know, it's a safety factor, I'm sure, but whatever, like I said, I talked too much. But thank you for your report. I'm sorry, I don't know why I skipped over you, but I did, I'm sorry. So,
There are no coincidences, right?
so, the next thing on our agenda is council comments, and let's start with Megan again. I'm sorry, Megan.
It's always me. Yeah, I just wanted to say, my girls had so much fun at the First Responders Cookout, and every year when they get the t-shirt, they say, oh, this is my favorite t-shirt, and it's like play shirt, bed shirt, camp shirt, so they have a packed out for 4-H camp, so they'll be repping the town of Bluefield First Responders Academy this week. So thank you all for that. Yeah, and in regards to, increased regulations around windows, I know that this is a premature point for me to make, but I just want the record to reflect, as of now, I'm in favor of lesser regulations to the degree that makes sense and allows for a, civilized society to continue. And in regards to making it harder for vape shop owners, as a born-again Christian would never advocate for usage of most of those products, but I do see that there are so many of those individuals who have come here and they've achieved the American dream. I have a family that lives kind of near me, and they're a family of immigrants, and I don't love the way they're making their money, but I'm so proud of this family that they have come here and they're building a future for their children and their grandchildren, and I want us to continue to welcome people who work hard, even if I really hate what they do, as long as it's legal. So anyway, I just wanted the record to reflect. That's all I got.
Thank you. Mr. Chad?
I don't have anything there.
Ms. Kathy?
I did. So I've been approached by, and this goes to Shane, probably, about people, with the e-bikes. Running out in the, or riding them out in the road. John and I almost hit one coming off the road down by Fincastle where they keep all the equipment. They came flying out of that road and we were coming in, didn't bother to look or anything. Is there anything that we can do?
There's a few laws, this is pretty new stuff, but there's a few laws in the books, but what we run into is a lot of these things, they're not really allowed to go 30 miles per hour, and a lot of them do. Some of them
Yeah.
go to 60 miles an hour. And there's no way to equate, I forget how the power traded, like kilowatts per hour or something like that, to equate to horsepower or something like that. So it's hard to do anything with right now because there's nothing on it that explicitly states, you know, this vehicle is capable of speeds of up to blah 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 or anything like that. So, and then there's aftermarket add-ons that you can put a bigger battery or bigger motors and stuff like that. So it could say it was, and I don't know. There's very few laws on the book unless we could get them for reckless driving or something like that.
Well, this one had two I assume boys. One of them had a helmet on, the other one didn't. And I just think, you know, it's so dangerous.
It falls more under the regulations of bicycles than it does, say, a motorcycle, but it's kind of a gray area. It's really so hard to
So then the other day, John, as you know, was sitting out on our sun porch, and he yelled for me to come. There was a girl riding a scooter, motorized scooter, comes out of Fincastle, gets down to Fincastle Lane, and then turns right onto Fincastle Lane and riding it in the middle of the road. And I'm thinking if a car would come around that curve there, this kid would be gone. So, I don't wanna say whose fault, but is there anything we can do? Apparently he's seen two different kids.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna, there's only so much we can do, but a lot of it's on the parents. I mean,
I know, yeah.
they need to know where their children are and what they're doing. And if we can say we caught them out and we saw like one out, an officer could go to the house and say, hey, we just saw her, you know, it's dangerous for her, she could be hurt. And, you know, someone's vehicle damaged. Sometimes you can have a talk with parents, and then some parents, their children do no wrong no matter what it is, so it's a 50-50 shot, not a corrective. But as far as laws on the book, as far as e-bikes, I think there's 3, and I'll have to look them up to quote them to you, but not a whole lot of teeth behind them right now. But I know it's going to expand because it's just more and more and more.
Okay, and then someone had sent me, I'm trying to find it, just bear with me. They'd sent me a thing on YouTube to see. And
Now to a California mom charged with involuntary manslaughter after her 14-year-old son allegedly struck an
So on YouTube, it was about a mom that was charged.
For
Wait a minute, let me get back to it, Shane. You know, ma'am, this is my big thing of doing this. After a kid was killed, crashing into an e-bike.
an e-bike hit someone and killed him, or
I think, I can't remember, but I think somebody hit the e-bike.
yeah, anytime a child's underage, I mean, their guardian can be held responsible for things like that.
Okay. Well, I just see them everywhere, and I just think they're so dangerous.
It's just, there's e-bikes, there's add-on motors to normal bicycles. Have you heard the things that go buzzing by certain places? you know, when mopeds first came out, and like I said, there's horsepower and speed limit restrictions on them. You can't stand up on them, have to wear a helmet, all this good stuff. You know, there's plenty of laws in the books, right? The e-bikes are so new, it's just, we have to have something that we can, you know, when they have a standard that, you know, you have to be 14 years of age, you have to take a safety course just like you do for boating or something like that. I think it's just gonna be some time coming before we'll have a lot of power to do anything with them.
Okay. And I'm sorry I missed the first, the responders.
I did too. I missed it this year. I was out of town myself.
Yeah, and it's always good. And I've already sent Andy a text thanking him for the wonderful signs that have
Don't
gone.
they look great?
Oh, it looks really, really good. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
Mr. Tree.
Only thing I would share is just try to be careful. Because you got all these kids, you got the motorcycles, you got the scooters, etc. And it's hard. It's a hard job. You see them on all these streets, and some of them are speeding. Especially when film castle sometimes where you said they pulled out. It is something that you just have to emphasize. Parents and people in that particular field that take care of stuff like that, like the people that teach them driver's ed, etc., will emphasize to the kids that's trying to get licensed and stuff to, you know, be conscious of. I mean, it's hard. I've had a number of little bikes went out in front of them. Just have to be looking all the time, be aware. That's the only thing I just want to make a comment.
I have something, ask the council to think about. You know, the colonel in the budget committee came before us and asked us to, raise the rate for water reconnection. It was 25, it went to 40, right? And that's in line with the sanitary board. So I was in Miss Piggy's office the day they did the disconnects. You wouldn't want to be in there that day. People call and man, they go crazy and say everything and this, that, and the other. But here's my point. I can't get anywhere with the colonel yet, nor Vicky. We have people, we had 61, I believe you said that day. 61. And a large majority of them are repeat offenders. I mean, they just do it every time, day after time after time. So I said to Vicky, I said to the colonel, maybe we need to add something in our language. It's $40. Everybody makes a mistake, you know, okay. Sometimes maybe you make 2 mistakes. But when you make one mistake a month, every month for a long, long period of time, it's not right. And I said, we need a graduated, first time $40, after 2 times, $60, 50, whatever, a fee, because they don't have any problem paying that. They can't pay their bill, but they'll pay that $40 to get it cut back on. I mean, so fast it'll make your head swim. And I didn't realize the amount of paperwork. They have to send somebody out there to cut it off. Then they have to get the money posted and this, that, and the other. Then get somebody to go back and turn it back on. It's the $40 won't even cover it, but it's a hassle. And for what she, and I'm sure there's others in there, I wasn't there that long, have to put up with. I mean, my goodness, it's bad. So think about it. You don't have to do it in a council meeting. You can talk with the colonel about it, ask him what he thinks, and what we need to do something for habitual offenders. Yes, ma'am.
How long do they have? I mean, how long do you let them go before you cut it off?
It's 2 months, isn't it?
2 months.
Oh my gosh, 2 months.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
They're at least 2 months behind on the
You
water
would
bill
really be
before they
surprised
cut them
when they
off.
are.
You know,
And then they call in and I said, let me answer the next one, because they were like, okay, enough said that. Kathy, I'm gonna ask this question. The person riding that motorized, was a golf cart?
No,
I understand motor. In our golf cart ordinance, you have to be 16 with a driver's license. If mama and daddy are with you and you're driving the cart, they give you a ticket for that. And there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
My
I see.
granddaughter's one of them. And I keep telling her, they're gonna get you. And I hope they do. Because,
There's a lot of kids.
a lot of kids,
Driving.
young kids that are driving those golf carts and, they're moving along.
And there's gonna be an accident on the road going in Castle. There's just too much
On
traffic.
Facebook today, there is something in memory of a child, well, it was a mother whose child, a car at a high rate of speed hit the golf cart and it just exploded into a million pieces, of course it killed the child. But anyway, that's basically all I've got. Thank everybody for coming tonight. I don't know what we're gonna do. We have a lot of vacancies, it seems like. And I'm the one catches it, so. Bring up a point of interest. Mr. Jones, who was a member of council, mayor, served on board of supervisors, school board. His funeral is next Saturday at
Our church.
Captain Payne's
First
church,
Methodist.
First Methodist downtown. So if you get a chance to go by, he spent a lot of time for the people here in Bluefield. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to bring before the council? Not hearing anything, could I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? And all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it.
Oh, and I have all this stuff.